we will still be in healthcare, and this time we will talk about diabetics. And this is a serious issue in Saudi Arabia and the region. And we have with us Dr. Abdulaziz Al-Rajhi, the CEO of King Khalid Eye Specialists, to talk about the efforts they are making on this subject.
Thank you very much, Dr. Majid. Ladies and gentlemen, they say the eye is the window to the soul, but it's also the window to your health status. Ever wondered how can we see and what's the mechanism? When we look around us, the light comes through the eye, through the cornea, and the cornea is the transparent part of the eye, the front of the eye, and then goes through the pupil and the lens inside the eye to be focused on the retina, which is the inward layer that is lining the eye from inside. From there, the light is transformed into electrical pulses that go through the optic nerve to the brain. So anything that affects that pathway in any way will ultimately lead to decrease in vision and sometimes, unfortunately, to the loss of vision. One of these diseases that has a great impact on vision in Saudi Arabia is diabetes. As you know, it is estimated that we have approximately around 4 million people in Saudi Arabia who are affected by diabetes. And it's a chronic disease that unfortunately you have to live with and control, but we cannot eradicate. And unfortunately, within the patients or the people who are affected with diabetes, almost 20% of them have diabetic retinopathy. And diabetic retinopathy is a complication caused by diabetes that affects the retina, which we said is the internal lining of the eye, where there are some abnormal changes that take place on the surface of the retina and within the structure of the retina itself. That eventually, if untreated, undiagnosed, undetected, will end up in losing vision. So in order to preserve vision to this great percentage of our population, we need to screen for diabetic changes within the eye. Currently, the difficulties that we are facing and the challenges is that the cost is very high to screen this huge number of people. The waiting time is very long to get an appointment, and there is a big strain on the facilities and the human resources that are quite limited to do all of these screening to all of these patients, which they need to be periodically, sometimes once a year and sometimes every 6 months and sometimes 4 or 5 times a year. Plus, there is a huge cost and a burden on the economy to screen for all this huge number of patients. So this is where artificial intelligence kicks in and has a major impact on decreasing the difficulties and the complications that we face with diabetes. If we have an artificial intelligence-based module that will help the patient get diagnosed and screened without the intervention of a human being. You will have a station, screening station. It can be in a mall, it can be anywhere. And people will just go in, an automated camera will take a picture of the fundus of the eye. The AI algorithm will diagnose at the initial stage whether or not there is a complication in the retina, whether it's normal or abnormal. And then from there, it will refer him to a physician if it's abnormal. If it's normal, it will ask him to come back again in a year. The next step would be to differentiate the type of abnormality and even direct the patient to whom he should go for treatment. And this by itself, using the AI, we will increase the capacity by 4-folds, decrease the time of the clinic visit by 80%, and decrease the number of staff and human resources that we need to develop this. Once we develop this system, we can then screen all of these patients and provide them treatment before they go into complications. And I'm happy to say that and announce in this forum that the King Khalid Eye Specialist Hospital, along with the Sadaya, in the form of the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and the Saudi Company for Artificial Intelligence and Link Company of the Ministry of Health and the Center of Excellence for AI in Health of Ministry of Health, we have joined together to start the first national project where we will validate an AI-based module for the screening of diabetic retinopathy changes in our patient. With that, That will be a very important tool for us to pick up these changes and these complications before they become advanced to a stage that we cannot treat it anymore. And I extend the invitation to all of you to go to the booth of Sadaya, where we have a live demo over there, and try the tool for yourself. Thank you very much.